Hi, everybody. Welcome to another CineMayo movie chat. I'm here, Joe Mayo, along with Tom and Yadi and Tim Allen.
Oh,
And Tim Allen is not to be confused with the actor Tim Allen.
wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Well, then again, because Aaron's never heard that one before, I guess.
I feel bamboozled.
And we have a special guest here tonight, Aaron Badgley. He's here. Thank you, Aaron, for joining me. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. And he's going to talk movies with us, and we'll see what transpires there. Oh, yes. Okay. Listen. Let me explain something to you, okay?
I didn't tell him to do that.
No, I don't mean that. Look, first of all, we did a show. I don't know if you watched it. Did you watch the Monster Show we did? What did I do? What did I do in that show?
You did a great job, Joe. You did a great job promoting that book.
I promoted his book. So now I'm looking for mine's over here somewhere. Oh, I got it by the door as a paperweight, I think. No,
good. That's much useful. Yeah.
Joe, man. It's right here. Okay. Showed my arm. Oh well. Anyway. The author of, I can never say, Dark Horse, the story of George Harrison's post-Beatles record label. So this is a book about the label, about George's stuff on the label, and et cetera, and everything with the label. So you can check this book out. I'm sorry that I didn't show it to you, Tom.
I didn't ask, but thank you, guys.
Listen, Tom. All right,
Man.
We have... a bunch of comments so far. Well, that's not the one. What is that doing there? Hello, what's up, 50 Thunderer, if you're here? Who's the movie man? Me? Everybody is here. Hello, Beetle Eddie. Hello, how you doing?
Beetle Eddie.
And James Farley. And Romoga. What? I figured how to say that name. Yeah. And it's Beetle Eddie saying hello to Aaron as well. And good evening, Joe and crew. Thank you, James. And happy Jaws 50th. Well, I know I'm feeling it because one of my favorite movies of all time, and I'm not going to let this go by. I decided I am going to get the popcorn holder with the shark face. I decided I am going to get that.
Good.
Hey, what's up, great 1951 Mike? How are you? Yeah, I'm going to
be up here. He will be up here one day. He's going to do it.
I didn't say anything, Mike, because I promised him in the comments I wouldn't do that anymore. But shows you how much we want you here. But be that as it may, I'm wearing my Jaws shirt here, one of my Jaws shirts, and I decided for the entire summer I'm going to wear this every time, or one of my other Jaws shirts. Going to be a Jaws shirt every show this summer, okay? Because I'm Jawsed out in a way right now, getting into it. So. Hello, Kimba.
Kimba. Hey.
And Mike Wall Jasper. And there he is, 50 Thunderer. Okay. Yeah, so, well, did anybody here go to the theater recently?
Yes.
Raise your hand. Yeah. Okay. Well, what Tom did.
Oh, Mr. Carter.
Yeah.
You just here.
Just don't happen to have it here handy. I was never a fan of that show. I would talk about TVs. I never forget when that show was going to be on. I think I was in the 5th grade, and I remember my teacher saying, "There's this show that's going to be on tonight. Welcome Back, Kotter. It's a new show." Don't watch that. As if it was like the worst. That's 1975 or whatever it was, 4 or 5. Degradation of the minds of the youth. Like that was what was bad then, that you're not supposed to pay attention to.
Up your nose with the rubber hose. Yeah.
There you go.
Right. That's right. Then I'm going to ask Aaron a trivia question.
Sure.
Ron Palillo was in one of the Jason movies. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I forget the number though. It was an early number, wasn't it?
Oh, well, please consider how many they have. It might be in her. It might
I was-
be in her. Is
I
6
thought
an
it
early
was
number?
well, when you're 61, it is.
Jason lives. Jason lives.
Jason,
Number
I
6.
remember that. I actually remember that.
It's a
I
great
guess
scene.
I saw those original Friday the 13th in the show when they came out, as they came out. So
Yeah, we'll do a show on that eventually. You know, Aaron has been joining me in my series, Mayo's Monster Mash. If you want to, we talk about different like horror related things. We're going to do a show, a little promotion, talking about the 50th anniversary of Jaws. We're going to do a show, Aaron and myself, and we'll record that soon. It's going to be live, I think. Actually, I think we'll do it live like this. So I'll
Sounds
put
good.
the ads up for anybody when the time's coming. And if you know Jaws and you want to talk Jaws, we can do that. But Tim Allen, before we were on, you told me and I know what you mean about this. You told me you had an opinion of Jaws in a way.
Well, yeah, and it's I've never been a huge Jaws fan. It may be the first adult movie I've ever seen in a theater. I was dragged to it. I didn't want to go. I spent most of the time like this because I was what 12.
Well, we were the
13,
same age, and I was 13.
but I'm not a horror guy. I've never been a horror guy. Probably the last movie I'd seen in a theater before that was Herbie Rides Again or something. I didn't.
Wow, you were deprived.
But that was fine. But I didn't love it, and I've never been a Jaws person. But to me, what we were talking about is, to me, and it's no fault of the movie. I'm not dissing the movie or anything, but this is the movie that sort of ruined movies. This is the movie that made movies the state that they're in today because it's the first huge blockbuster. It started blockbusters, and it became, now everything has to be a blockbuster, and it sort of ruined movies. It's no fault of its own. It just happened. But to me, that's but I don't know. I don't blame it, but it's not a film I love anyway. But it's okay. It's not a bad film or anything. It's just not, one of my favorites.
I can almost, I could definitely not almost relate to what you're saying with the blockbuster thing. And it became like everything's got to be a blockbuster. Some crazy movie explosion or whatever it is, and the quality not always there as far as I'm concerned. Let me say hello before we go on. Let me say hello to Robbie. Does the Jaws anniversary have to be 4K? Because I want the new documentary. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about that when I talk about things I picked up and stuff. Let's see. If you overdose on popcorn whilst watching Jaws, you're going to need a bigger bucket. Yeah, that's true. The filming went way over budget because of the shark's malfunction. Oh yeah, there's all that those details, which we'll cover, I'm sure, when we get. If you guys could talk a little Jaws if you want, but make sure you join our Jaws stream.
Yeah, funny thing is, before I saw it, my dad had before I saw the movie Jaws, my dad had some friends that were in the police. So I remember they were like water patrol policemen or whatever. So I remember we had gone out on the boat, and then we went back to the office or whatever, and I had seen what it looked like. I had seen pictures of people found underwater. So in a way, it kind of got me ready because with the head popping up scene in the movie Jaws, it almost in a way got me ready for that. But it was still scary nonetheless. I mean, that movie is scary, especially for a 10 or 12-year-old. I was terrified when I watched it, and I think I was older than you guys when you guys first saw it.
Well, when did you saw it in the theater when it was first run?
No. What I'm saying is later on, I had seen, what death looks like underwater. So when because you were talking about Joe with the with the head popping up scene when you did your 50th anniversary.
Oh yeah,
Jaws. So the movie is scary. No doubt about it.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is maybe too intense for younger children.
Yeah, right.
It's funny because I don't know if any of you read the book before you saw the movie. I did. I had read the book. Because the book came out a year before, right?
I read it after. But go ahead.
I had a mother who insisted that we read. So some reading at the cottage.
Damn it!
But the thing is that Steven Spielberg's film before that was Duel, which was a scary movie because here's Dennis Weaver driving to an appointment and he's being chased by this maniac in a big truck. And I think he was kind of creating a very interesting genre of horror because both films, you don't really see the protagonist that much. You don't know who the driver is in the truck in Duel. And you don't see the shark really until near the end, right? I mean, bits and pieces here and there. But it was a really good, and then Alien picked up on that whole theme. But I thought it was terrifying when I saw it the first time. I was 11 and I was scared.
Yeah. Yep. I was scared. I always thought those movies were cool. Like, I always say that, like, I never got scared, whatever that is, until I saw The Exorcist. That was scary. To me. But
try when you're 9 years old, Joe. That was good.
Yeah. But it definitely had, Jaws did have intense, scary scenes. You fear the shark and all that. Yeah, I get it. I felt a little bit, but anyway, whenever I watch a documentary, and there's now at least 3 of them, probably more, about Jaws. Spielberg's always talking about Duel, relation to that, which I've never seen it, but I've only seen clips when I watch Jaws documentary.
It's a really good. Have you seen it, guys? Tom, and Tim?
Duel's great. Duel was probably my first favorite adult movie as a kid. I saw it when it was on TV, when it debuted on TV. Yeah.
And then it went to the show, right?
Yeah. Well, in overseas.
Yeah, overseas.
Yeah. I don't think it ever played in theaters here, but overseas it did.
Great movie, though. Fantastic film.
Yeah.
Do I think Michael Caine looked, or any of us think, out of place in Jaws? Well, you mean Jaws: The Revenge, of course, the 4th one, which we'll talk about one of these days. I guess so. It's hilarious because I just saw, there's an interview with him where he says he was in a terrible movie. He says, I think it was called Jaws 4, and then the interviewer's like, Jaws: The Revenge or something. He says, and people say that movie stinks, somebody told him, he said. And he says, but something like it bought me and my mother a house, or something like he was able to get to buy his mother a house by making that movie, and that's what he got out of it. So, that's why he was in it. Some
extra booze bucks too.
Yeah, I don't know. Would you call them booze bucks? I don't know if in that case, I don't know if I can agree with you. There's a thing that I always started, and Tom's picked up on it with me. Whenever it's like an old actor that's at the end, they make drinking. They want to do a movie to make drinking money, like booze bucks.
Right.
Just to get some booze. They make it.
Yeah, like Gloria Graham and Blood and Lace, or
it's a booze bucks movie.
That's a booze bucks movie. Yeah.
George Raft in anything after 1950.
What was George Raft's last film, Tim?
I don't actually know.
Mae West Sextet, which is
yeah. I didn't know it was his last film. I didn't know he was in that.
Sadly, his last film.
Yeah, I didn't know George Raft was in there too.
Oh, briefly, but it was terrible.
Yeah.
Duel is a great suspense film. Did the Jaws release Kickstart movie merchandising? Yes, it did. They was playing. Oh, never before has merchandising been Planet of the Apes, pals. Okay, before that. But anyway,
Yellow Submarine. There's been merchandising before.
By the way, I met Roy Scheider in an elevator. Didn't have a pen. Well, I met Roy Scheider coming out of the elevator, and I was there with my Sharpie pen and an 8x10, and I got his autograph. And I think it was 1994. Yeah. So, all right. Anyway, Something Like It Hot. What about Something Like It Hot? What was the connection?
I like it hot. It's 98 degrees right now.
Yeah, it's hot right now.
Oh, it's 98 degrees. I'll take it. I'll take it over the cold. Woo.
Yes.
Right. Anyway, so let's start I'll start with Tom this time. Tom, let me know if you picked up any movies.
Yeah.
Start with
that. I picked up a few things over the weekend. I got a few things. One, pure nostalgia. I remember liking this a lot as a kid, and I'd watched it probably about 20 years ago. But this is Swamp Thing.
Nope, that's me, not you.
It's right. There you go. Swamp Thing from 1982, Wes Craven. This is the MVD version. This was almost my last purchase at Best Buy when they were still selling Blu-rays and DVDs.
The two reasons why you got it. I know why.
Oh, yeah, they're nice. They're two really good reasons. But that's the funny thing. But that's the funny thing you mentioned that, because that's one thing I was going to say, is because when this came out in DVD, it was rated PG, and they accidentally put the international version on there. So there was a few complaints. It got recalled. But now they got it to where it's the two versions. It's the U.S. version, which is like 3 minutes shorter, and then the international version, which has,
the best 3 minutes of the film were taken out.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyways, that being said, it's not a great movie, but it's a fun movie, and I did watch this over the weekend, and I had a good time watching it again. If not for two reasons, but whatever. Now, here's one that I haven't seen, and this is an Italian horror by Jess Franco. This is called Lorna, The Exorcist. So here we go with an Exorcist film.
Wow, that one I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with it either, but I like the cover, and I thought, hey, let's give it a shot. Plus, it's a Kino film. It's a Kino cult. Actually, Joe, I don't know if you're familiar with the Kino cult line.
No.
Okay, so this is part of that. So I'm probably going to watch this some point this week. 99 minutes, not too long.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
listen,
I had a friend. Hold on. I had a friend that loved foreign movies, horror movies, and he loves stuff like Jess Franco.
Right.
And man, they're bad. But
yeah,
I think. But occasionally I'd see one that was not so bad. When I saw Lena Romeo on there, is that his wife or girlfriend or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I met them both at a horror convention. They were both there.
Oh, wow.
I got their autographs in the 90s, I guess. Yeah. And she's in another movie. Oh, what is it called? Oh, somebody will know. It's a vampire movie, but it's, really like female vampire, it's called.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And but anyway, that's
cool.
Interesting.
And the last pick just came in the mail today. This is one of the few recent Woody Allen movies that I haven't seen yet, and that's A Rainy Day in New York with Timothée Chalamet. You got Jude Law, you got Liv Schreiber, Diego Luna. Really good cast here, and looking forward to watching this one. It's, like I said, it's one of the few that I haven't seen yet. So yeah. There you go.
I've never heard of that one. Is that really recent?
Yeah, this is 16 or 17, I want to say, when it came out. Yeah, 18 actually. Yeah. So that's the three pickups that I had this week.
Okie dokie. Are you going to see 28 Years Later? Yes, I am. You too, Aaron? You're nodding your head.
Oh yeah, I'm not missing that.
It did pretty well at the box office. It did 30 million here and 30 million overseas, so it's got to a good start.
I like the other two, but I haven't seen them in so long. I usually like to just see them again, when I'm not familiar with something. And as far as Megan 2 goes, I still say somebody made me a copy of Megan with the first one, and I haven't watched it yet. I got like a copy of it hanging out.
No interest at all in that one.
Yeah, another doll movie or whatever, but right. But I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
All right. So those were your pickups.
Those are my pickups. Yes.
I'm going to show you my pickups. First thing is there was a gift card that I got as a present, some Christmas or something, for years. I don't know how long it's been sitting here. And then I looked to see if it was still good, and it said it was good till 2033.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I guess I'm good. It's $50 on it, right? So I go over to Barnes & Noble because I had gone to a couple of stores. I wanted to pick up the Jaws 50th anniversary edition first. And I went to Best Buy. No, nothing. I mean, there was a point where Best Buy, who's now called Bust Buy, Worst Buy.
Well, I mean, unless you're looking for a washer and dryer.
Yeah, sure. they still used to have new movies up in the front, like one rack. Not old. Right. I mean, right. Jaws is an old movie, but it's a big movie. They didn't. But anyhow, so they didn't have it there, and I was in Target. They didn't have anything in there, so I said, "Screw that." Finally, one day, with my card. I go to Barnes & Noble. I say they got to have it there. Luckily, they had one copy left, and should I bother with the big screen? All right, I will. Yeah, anyway, so I picked up the new 4K, but I got it for Blu-ray. It says Blu-ray. Yep. And the only reason I picked it up was because it includes the new Jaws at 50, the definitive inside story documentary. That's the only reason. Now, there was a steelbook of this, and I don't collect steelbooks really. I only got a handful. But I was going to get it if they had it, but I knew they wouldn't have it because this was a few days after release. So they were all gone, probably on eBay for double the price. But they had one copy of this. This is the standard one with the slipcover. So I was able to get this. Now, here's the thing. So I bring my $50 card, and they had this, which is a movie that I love, that I had been looking at. This is a steelbook. I looked at this in one of my videos recently. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Look, what the hell is that to put on the back? Jason's body quote. Jason's body has disappeared from the morgue. That's all you can think of. But anyway, the two of these together, I figured with the tax would be around $60. So I figured, well, I'll use my card and then I'll come up with $10 out of my pocket, right? I get up there. The total for both of these was $35.
Yay! All right.
I still got and 17 cents. So I'm like, wow, it's good when you get a deal. So there you go. So that's that.
So Joe, is it definitely the definitive story on Jaws, or what do you?
Well, you know what? I figured if it's all right, I'll talk a little about that. The answer is, not really, but that'll be the next one. 75th.
The 75th anniversary, the definitive story.
Because I want to talk about that as one of my watch things. But so I went back to my used store and I picked up some things I had been looking at that I didn't have enough cash at the time to get. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Yeah, I see Aaron's applauding. And I saw this a long time ago. When I'm gonna let this go. Hold on, let me get out of here because I want to see everybody. Back at a period of time when I was trying everything, watching all kinds of things, and I remember liking it a lot. So now I have it. Plus, these are kind of cheap. Now, this movie, I don't think I've ever seen this classic all the way through. I know, I don't belong here.
Oh, bogey.
I've seen scenes from it, and I'm like, okay, but let me see the whole thing. Let me see the whole thing the right way. And that's what I'm going to do.
The scenes from Play It Again, Sam, is that the scenes that you've seen? Woody Allen movie?
No, but I see, Peter Lorre and Freeman and all this stuff. All right, this is an upgrade, if you will. Reservoir Dogs. This was cheap. Kind of cheap, so I got that. Now I just bought the Rocky set with like 6 movies up to Rocky Balboa, so I saw this for like $5, which I've never seen. Creed.
Yeah, I really enjoy all 3 Creed films. I think they're good.
So I'm going to start with this. I was almost going to get 2 also because Stallone's in 2.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Let me see if I should enjoy this. And if I enjoy it, then I'll get it. We got two more only to show. I was telling you recently that I was getting interested in seeing George C. Scott, just about anything with George C. Scott, and they had this. So,
yeah,
very good. What company is that put that out, Joe?
Universal.
Okay.
Universal. And now this is really good, Tim. You ready for this? Tim started this, and I'm
Is
going
it
to
something weird?
do it now.
Oh, there you go.
It's definitely something weird.
This is sealed. Woohoo! It's season 3, so you get Come On, Get Happy, and I think the ones I remember growing up with more with like later on, and it's also like $7. $7 for a sealed season 3. I said, all right,
can't beat that.
Some
was
warm
that like
fuzzy
25 episodes or something like that back then.
Probably, I don't know.
Yeah, 23, 25 in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Contains all 25 episodes.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. So, yeah.
Yeah, I have all 4 seasons. Of course I do.
Letty says, I think Casablanca is overrated. Am I wrong?
That's
yes.
up to you.
Yes. The first time I watched Casablanca, I just thought, what's the big deal? And then the second time I watched it, I liked it a lot more. And every time since I watched it, I like it more than I did the last time I watched it. It's just a movie that it gets better every time you watch it, for me anyway.
Good evening, and thank you so much for writing it in English, so I don't need Tim to interpret it. Usually, Tim, he doesn't understand, Asian writing, but he looks it up or whatever. Let's see. Can't remember if I've ever seen Casablanca all the way through.
Right.
And also George C. Scott. I like the George C. Scott A Christmas Carol. I do like that one myself.
My favorite George C. Scott film is They Might Be Giants.
Oh yeah, that's one I haven't seen.
That's a great movie, and it's one of the an early 70s drama, and I'm not even going to describe it, but it's a wonderful film. So
no, I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to see it. I mean, I'm going to try to see almost anything with him. If I'm going to watch Patton, which is supposed to be great, then I could see anything. Historical war stuff, not my cup of tea.
All you really need to see is that initial 10-minute speech at the beginning. That's pretty much it.
Is that really how you feel about it, or no?
No, I think it's a fantastic film, but I'm just goofing. Yeah. Hello,
Cherry Carter. There's an episode of Black Mirror Hotel, or however you pronounce that, is immersed into a classic noir black and white movie, noir B&W movie, a la Casablanca. Hello, Nick. George C. Scott was in Angus. I wish that would get a Blu-ray release.
I'm with you.
Very nice. Oh my God, I got to take a break here soon, folks. A good suspense without too much violence for my innocent eyes. Oh, I didn't know Kimber had innocent eyes.
She's got innocent eyes.
You're giving it away, MC. Yes, They Might Be Giants. Great film.
All right. They say, I've heard this from when I was a kid, even hitting a great white shark on the nose will stop it attacking you. I don't believe that. Well, if you're ever in that situation, you got nothing to lose. You better pop them.
Just don't forget. Don't panic. Just hit it in the nose.
Yeah. Don't panic.
Yeah, it's very easy. All right. So, Tim, you didn't pick anything up, correct, this time?
No, it's been like a month. It's been dry. Well, I have almost no place left to buy physical media where I am.
Don't say that. There's always room for more physical media.
No, you mean to buy it.
I see. I don't buy online. I can't buy online at the moment. Long story, but there's Walmart's down to like a half an aisle of movies. Target's down to like one little rack of movies. My Barnes & Noble doesn't carry movies.
Oh, wow.
There's thrift store. And there was a few thrift store kind of places. They don't carry movies anymore. There's my regular thrift store, which doesn't They used to have a rotation system, and they dropped it. So now it's been the same movies for like 6 months, just sitting there.
Well, it is what it is.
It is what it
Okay,
is.
anyway,
What it ain't.
that's what I say. Yeah, Roger Moore and the Man Who Haunted Himself. Anybody see that? And Sherlock Holmes in New York. Are they any good? I don't remember Sherlock Holmes in New York. I know Sherlock Holmes in Washington.
I don't know either one of those.
Okay, all right. So now, Aaron, you said you've seen some movies, but you didn't pick anything up.
Well,
lately,
no, I actually, thanks to my lovely wife Andrea, I got 2 nice box sets.
Oh, okay.
So one box set is a collection of Cagney.
Ooh,
Going through a bit of a revival. What I like about these Warner Brothers discs is that they give you the experience of being at the movies in the 40s and the 30s. They have the shorts, the cartoons, they even have newsreels, which is really cool. And you mentioned George Roth. The other one I was watching was Bogart, and a movie called Invisible Stripes, which is from 1939, where it's about people coming out of prison and they have the invisible stripes. People still judge them. Great films. And the other thing, I just watched the new Zombies documentary about the group The Zombies, and I'm trying to think of the title, but let me tell you what the title is. It's called Hung Up on a Dream, which was really good. If you're a Zombies fan, not the monster, but the group. Yeah. It was a good. I was laughing. It was a good documentary. I thought it was well put together, and I think it's being streamed. I mean, if we get it in Canada, you guys must have it in the States. But I've been watching a lot of movies, and thanks to Joe, I also picked up a box set of Laurel and Hardy shorts.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah. The silent ones, right?
The silent ones, yeah.
They do some work on those, huh?
They did. Wow. Talk about restoration.
How do you hear those silent ones?
Well, I just plugged my ear. But I'm going to go this weekend. I hope to go this weekend to see the new 28 Days or whatever it's called, 28 Years.
28 years.
Yeah, what happened to 28 months?
Yeah, they skipped months, didn't they?
Yeah, they went from days to weeks to years.
They've also already finished the sequel to 28 Years Later. That's going to come out next year.
Well, it's good to get ahead of the game, but
yeah,
I mean, I'm with Tim. There's nowhere in Toronto to buy DVDs or Blu-rays. You have to order online. No, Walmart doesn't carry them. We don't. The Best Buy, if you want to get a fridge, go to Best Buy. And we don't have Barnes and Nobles. We have a thing called Indigo, which is kind of the Canadian version, and it doesn't have DVDs or Blu-rays at all. And so
you don't have an HMV there?
HMV? No, they're gone. We have Sunrise. Okay. And they have a very small selection. But so yeah, that's what I've been watching. And God is just. Oh, one last thing. Can I show one more thing?
Sure, absolutely.
For Bob Dylan fans.
Oh yeah.
Now this is only available.
That up again. Hearts of Fire.
It's only available on VHS. It's never been issued on DVD or Blu-ray. Of course, it stars the wonderful Rupert Everett and a person named Fiona, and it's awful, but it's good because it's got Dylan.
That's what I've heard. Well, I remember from 1986. I think that's around when it is, around that period, 85 or 6. I remember having the song. I'll have the usual.
That's good.
The usual.
That's really good. I like that.
Yeah, well, when we saw him live last weekend, Joe, he opened with "You Gotta Serve Somebody."
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And he closed with "Don't Think Twice," which I thought was a nice end of the night.
Yeah.
Good bookends.
Yep.
That's what I'm watching, Joe and Tom and Tim. And
good.
Yeah,
appreciate that. You see, Mike, if you here's Mike, you see how easy it is? That's all you got to do. What you watch lately? What do you think? And you can tell us about the Man Who Haunted Himself. See, The Man Who Haunted Himself is very good. I love the movie Claremont Hotel.
Don't know that one.
Don't know that movie.
Tim, don't feel bad. Since my Barnes & Noble closed in April, I have no place to buy movies unless I go online. I don't drive, so it makes it not so easy. Yeah, you got to order online. It really is. It's really stinks. But I mean, it's but it's also fun. It's fun to get a package. Hey, it's here.
It's funny though. My daughter lives in Dublin, and every store in Dublin, you could just pick up, and they release everything on DVD and Blu-ray in Ireland and England. In new movies, I mean, absolutely everything. And I get overwhelmed when I go there, but of course they won't work here because they're PAL. But it's just great. I wish we were like that because people are still buying movies there.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
I love it.
And I still think people want physical stuff. There's all people that like to browse. When I go to that store, it's called Book Off. When I go to that, which I think it's about, they got books, they got records, they got movies, and there's young people too. They they browse that stuff. Yeah. It's not that nobody wants stuff anymore.
No, it's just it's got to be smaller, and it's got to be, you got to specialize in it. I mean, I kind of get Walmart and Target and everything getting out of it because it's not their shoppers that are buying it, but it doesn't mean that nobody wants it.
Right.
I mean, I have a Walmart. It's a little bit of a drive, but people tell me that they have movies at that ones. I mean, I think I've even been there a few times with movies. But I mean, this is what I got to do. I got to go to Walmart.
Mine just remodeled, and now there's literally half an aisle of movies. That's it since the remodel. Great.
Yeah,
Agne's a cool guy. Thanks, Pitoletti.
Konnichiwa. There you go. Library book sales are a good place to find cheap movies, both DVD and Blu-ray. I've bought them for 50 cents each.
That's a good point. A good tip.
We don't have them anymore. We used to have one a year, and the pandemic ended it. I don't know what they do now, but
there were 2 documentaries I'm interested in seeing. One on Jane Mansfield by her daughter.
Yeah,
I'd like to see those too. Yeah,
Pee Wee Herman documentary. Oh, I know Tom's got some opinions on it. What's your thoughts on Steve Martin's Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, mixing all movie clips? Because I recommended it once, I think.
it was just on TV the other day on TCM. I watched it.
I like Steve Martin, even though I've never seen The Jerk. That's right. I say it again every time he comes up. I've never seen The Jerk, but I've seen almost everything else, it seems.
I mean, what's the difference between that and then the show that you don't like, MSK 3000? You know what I mean? All they're doing is just talking over it, or you're just writing new dialogue for a new film.
Big difference.
I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, what's the one that Woody Allen did? I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, but that's not what this is. This is they wrote their own story, and they just put little short clips of other movies in to make it look old. I saw it when it came out in the theater, and I loved it. And I don't love it as much now as I did when it came out.
Yeah, I don't think I would
appreciate it more now because I know noir now, and I didn't then.
Yeah, I mean, Joe recommended it to me. I bought it, and I thought it was decent. I didn't hate it. Steve Martin is funny. I thought it was good.
You need a cup of my famous Java. Java for somebody, but I just heard the movie All of Me with Steve Martin is coming out on Blu-ray or something. I got Lily Tomlin. I got to get that one. Yeah, and
great soundtrack.
Why not take all of me? I think that's the song. There's always Amazon. Yeah, I know. In fact,
I can't do Amazon right now. I can't do Amazon. I can't do eBay. I can't do anything. So that.
But I get carried away. I'm gonna make an Amazon order later. So
good.
Hello, Eric. The DVDs and Blu-rays at a nearby Walmart. They have a big box set of Universal monster movies for $89.99. I never saw Eddie Murphy's Nutty Professor. I'm still working on seeing the entire version of Jerry Lewis' Nutty Professor.
No interest at all.
Oh, that the first one's good. I have no interest in Eddie Murphy's.
But speaking of Nutty Professor and Jerry Lewis, I just watched the documentary on that Jerry Lewis film about the day the clown cried.
Oh, I saw that documentary too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, good documentary, eh?
Very good. And there's something like 30 minutes or 35. Well, they have a lot more, I think, right?
Yeah.
But somebody took that footage from that special and edited it together to make like a movie out of it.
Yeah.
A mini movie. Yeah, it was very interesting.
Lewis was very honest.
Yeah. Yeah. And but that's strong stuff, especially the ending of that movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy cow. I was going to do a video on it, and like everything else, I just never got to it. I enjoyed Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. I saw it at the theater, so did I. It was fun. Cinematography and lighting matched the original scenes, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah. These days on Blu-ray, I'll bet you could see that it'd be jolting that they don't match as clear. But it don't matter. It's still just...
Yeah, but with the technology they have, they could get them to match better now than they could have been, I think.
Oh,
Probably.
I got you there.
AI.
All right, let's take a moment here. Aaron, you talked about stuff that you've seen.
Yes.
Right. And now, what have you talked? Was it just stuff you got or stuff you saw? I'm trying to remember now.
I'm kind of hung up on a TV show right now. So I've been watching. I came late to a TV show called Doc Martin, which is a British show.
Oh, I love Doc Martin.
Do you really?
Yes.
Yeah, I just finished season 6, so I've been kind of obsessed with Doc Martin. It's a great show, and Martin Clunes is amazing, and I recommended that. And his new show is good too, Manhunt, which is a detective show, and that's a fantastic show. So, anyways, that's what I've been watching, and watching the Blue Jays embarrass themselves. Anyways,
Toronto Blue Jays. Well, I'll say I haven't watched. I don't think I watched any movies, but I watched the 3 Jaws documentaries, and my girlfriend actually stayed awake for them, which I was surprised. But anyway, I got a great story about that. Tom was asking me. First of all, I saw the making of Jaws, which I've seen many times. To me, that's the best one. It's the oldest one. I don't know the year. I think it's 1995. Maybe they did that or something. And then years later, they did. I think it was from 2005. The Shark is Still Working, which is pretty good. A lot of them have the same footage, but each one has something different to offer because there's different interviews in some of them similar, different. So they're all worth seeing to a degree. The new one, Jaws at 50, the definitive inside story. I couldn't wait to get this for that, so I put it on like 1:00 in the afternoon, and I'm watching it. And when it's over, I'm thinking to myself, how in the world could they make like the definitive story and not have the principal, like Roy Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss? Now, Robert Shaw died, early, but there's still some really cool footage with him. I said they could have used this on the set footage that they did from 1974 when they were filming it. There's some great footage of Robert Shaw. And I'm thinking, how could they do that? So I'm like, this makes me want to make a video and review this thing and let them have it. I said, well, before I do that, wait a minute. I know, knowing me, I nodded it off a couple of times. I said, so I was at the end now. I go, let me reverse it. Speed search through it. And all of a sudden I see Robert Shaw. I see Roy Scheider. I see Richard Dreyfuss. I'm like, boy, you fell asleep not during this movie. This is 1:00 in the afternoon. And eventually I'm going to make a video about this and a discussion about this. And I'm like, all right, well, then again, at night, I saw it and stayed wide awake and watched the whole thing. And it was a lot better.
It's that strict 7 a.m. wake up time, Joe, that you got.
I don't do with that. No. Well, how can I wake up at 7? I wish I would get up at 7.
I was going to say more like 5:30.
It's 5:30. So I don't want to get up 5:30. 6:30 earliest, but it is what it is, man. So, but then again, how could I, by that logic, of course, how could I fall asleep at 1 in the afternoon, but stay awake at 7 or 8 at night to watch? Anyway, but I know partly what it was. I wanted my girlfriend to watch it. I have this thing where I like people to watch things with me. And a lot of times then I'm awake. It must be a psychological thing. I don't know what it is. I just got too comfortable. But anyway, what do I think of it? I don't want to be the naysayer all the time. It was good. It was good. It was good. But but each one of these three major documentaries has something to offer, like I said. And why Emily Blunt is interviewed so much. It's one of those documentaries with some talking heads. And she likes the movie. Okay, she likes the movie a lot. So Emily Blunt's going to talk about Jaws. Was she even alive when it came out? I don't know about that. But anyway, be that as it may, James Cameron, he talks about it and stuff. But there's some good stuff in it. Yeah, I do think there could have been, even though I missed it the first time, there could have been more with the three principles in there. I don't know why there wasn't more, but yeah. So that's that. So that's all I watched. Really, that I can remember watching, unless you count TV episodes and things like that, which I would, but I don't know. There were just stuff like Mike and Molly and, and things like that were on. All right, so how about you, Tim? What's going on with you since we last met?
Well, I'm continuing on with my something weird watching, which I won't talk too much about, but I watched a movie today called no, these were all actually fun. The movie today I watched was called Heat of Madness. And it's about this guy that's a photographer. He's not good looking and he's awful. And this woman who has millions of dollars falls in love with this guy, and you're just thinking, why the whole time? Why? And what does he do for a living? He takes nude calendar photography is basically what he does. And he's rotten to them. He's rotten to his girl. He's rotten to everybody. He's insane. And yet this woman just loves him. And it's just, I'm like, why? But, typical 60s sexploitation roughie. And then I watched a double feature starring this woman. Does anybody recognize this woman right here?
How about if I blow this up a little bit? Yes. No, that's not. No, it's not Virginia. Somebody, is it? No. Nobody would know who that one's talking about.
Is that Joan Crawford?
No, it's not Joan Crawford.
No,
it's me.
Yeah, I thought it was Bunny Carver. It's not.
That is Rue McClanahan.
No,
Golden Girl.
She's so sexy when she's old. I like to see what she was like.
And she made 2 exploitation films, and they're actually pretty good films. She plays the similar character in both.
I want to see that then.
She's a little insane. She's very insane in one of them, but she's sexy and she's insane, and they're good films. I recommend them both. If you ever get a chance to see The Rotten Apple or Hollywood After Dark, which has nothing to do with the film industry. I don't know why it's called Hollywood After Dark, but either one of these they're both really good films. And it's weird because the first time I ever watched this, I thought they were terrible. And I watched it again and I'm like, no, these were really good films actually. So Something Weird did a good one when they put out a double feature of Rue McClanahan films.
Oh, and I don't like insane women. I was married to one.
And then over 2 days, I watched this.
Oh, that's a Lugosi movie. Yeah.
It's a Lugosi serial.
Yeah, I've seen the whole thing.
Serial.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't know if it's great. It was okay. It wasn't awful. It was. What I'll say about it is you weren't here last week, Aaron. Last week I watched a serial called Jungle Girl, and I will say that this is no Jungle Girl.
Better?
Jungle Girl was good. This was okay. It wasn't.
Is that a public domain set, Tim?
Oh, it has to be.
Yes, I don't even know who put it out. Platinum put it out. It's. Okay. I'll tell you how public domain it is. 12 episodes on 1 disc.
Yeah.
One disc.
So that's how public. At least Jungle Girl was on 2 discs.
Oh wow!
12 episodes on 1 disc. So, I mean, it's not that long to be honest. They're like 17-minute episodes. The first one's like a half an hour. So it's not that bad, but it's it's not. Anyway,
That got
this
my
was
interest
okay.
going.
This was the hero is just like too heroic, It's that kind of.
What
thing.
year, Tim? What year?
I don't even know, and I'm not gonna. It's so dark in here.
40.
I have no idea. Is if anybody read that?
I should know this. I'm ashamed of myself being a Lugosi fan. No, I can't see that.
I doubt you'll be able to read that.
Let me blow it up.
If it even says, it might not even say.
It's too blurry for me to see. Really.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it says it on there.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm guessing. I'm guessing early 40s. That's my guess. But I don't know. And then I watched 2 more films, a double feature again.
1937.
37, earlier than I thought. Yeah. I watched 2 films, a double feature, and I was shocked. Because I watched The Lone Ranger and The Lone Ranger and The City of Lost Gold. And you know what? These were excellent. I was shocked at how much, especially the first one, The Lone Ranger. If you like Westerns, this is just flat out a good Western. Whether you like The Lone Ranger or not, this is just a flat out good Western. The second one wasn't quite as good, but it was close. They're both worth watching. Excellent color. This was actually put out by Universal. So,
interesting.
Decent quality, good
like
print, good
budget.
Which is weird because the second one you could tell. The first one was made by Universal, I think, or no, Warner Brothers actually. The second one wasn't, and you could kind of tell the difference in the films. The second one was a lesser studio, but I was just surprised at how much I enjoyed these films. So if you ever get a chance to see The Lone Ranger or The Lone Ranger and The Lost City of Gold, watch them. I was shocked.
And Tonto's not edited out, right?
No, but Tonto needs to learn not to go to town. I've been saying for years, Tonto, stop. And in The Lone Ranger, the first movie, it's his idea. Me go to town. It's like, no, Tonto, don't go to town. But no, Tonto goes to town, and of course, the Lone Ranger saves him, but still, very good movies. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed those.
Tim, Eric wants to know if Lugosi played a ship captain or an enemy spy.
He's a mastermind enemy. He's neither. He's like he's basically like a Nazi. There's no Nazis or anything mentioned, but he's like a big time. He's like a Superman villain. One of these people that wants to take over the world. And
what else?
That's what he is. He's a mastermind kind of guy.
Well, you can watch it on YouTube. It's up in the full.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's see let me go backwards here before we go on here. Oh yeah, I remember. That's what I remember. The first thing that pops in my head about Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid is cleaning woman. That's the first thing
yeah.
I remember. I love the movie Escape from Alcatraz.
Great movie.
Yeah. Jerry Lewis's sons were scared of him. When they came home, they all hid. I could understand that.
See him walking around, no wire hangers.
Yeah.
Well, that was Joan Crawford.
Yeah, I know that, but
I met John Cleese once. It was fantastic. He didn't want to meet me, but I made sure he did. Well, same thing with Woody Allen when I met him. He tried to avoid me, but I intercepted him at the corner, and he was so sweet when I had no choice. It was great. It wasn't a bad thing. You just crossing the street. He saw me coming, and I started pulling out my autograph thing, and he put his little floppy fisherman's hat on and tried to cross I didn't recognize him. And I said, Mr. Allen. I said, oh, hello. And I said, can I have your autograph? He said, oh, sure. And he signed, and he was nice. And I said, good luck with the movie, because he was filming a movie. If this was 94, I wonder if it was Mighty Aphrodite he was making. But anyway, he He said, "Oh, thank you very much." He was so nice. And you see, Woody, there was nothing to fear. There was nothing to fear.
I just watched his most recent film, which was filmed in France.
Yeah.
I forgot the title. It's in French with subtitles.
It's in French, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very odd film. Very odd film.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it's interesting. If nothing else, it's certainly interesting.
Very nice.
And as to date, as of today, I mean, that's his last movie to date. You know.
Yeah, it is.
Matching the original 40s lighting was impressive in Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid because there's no CGI at the time. They had to physically set up the lights to cast the shadows in the same angles.
Yeah,
CGI was in its infancy at that point in time.
I think the most impressive scenes in Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid is the ending when there's that carnival parade thing going on, and they're showing scenes from whatever film they're showing, and then they're showing the real characters, and it matches, and it's like that. That's hard to do with all those people and all that action. They just did a really good job on it.
I want to talk about the CGI a little bit, what you were saying, Tom, because first of all, the first time I remember being really aware of it, and I thought it was cool at the time, but for the same reason why Tim says Jaws in some way inadvertently ruined movies with the summer blockbuster thing. The movie Terminator 2, Judgment Day, which is cool, and I love the movie. Really, I like it. But, I mean, whoosh, everything morphing, whoosh, and all this kind of stuff with the liquid and the metal and all that.
Right.
Everything after that started. So that really started CGI craze. You know what the first is interesting. You know what the first CGI movie was to have CG in it?
Well, the first one I remember was a movie from 1984 called The Last Starfighter, which was a sci-fi film. That's the last one that's the first one the first time I was aware of CGI.
Well,
1984.
But is that true that it was CGI in there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. They mentioned people mention the word CGI when they talk about that movie.
It's not quite the one I'm talking about is not quite the same. Computer graphics, not quite the same.
Are you talking about Tron?
I'm talking about one of my favorite movies of all time, Westworld.
Westworld.
They show you the robot's point of view.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing, really, as what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what 73. I don't think people would have, mentioned that word CGI.
No, they didn't. But it goes on as whatever they call it. The first computer movie to use computer imagery or graphics like that.
Gotcha.
Wonderful. And I think the first movie. This is. I got to look it up to see if I'm right or not, but I think I heard that the first movie that was all digital movie, not film, might have been Jason X. Oh, it's one of them. That's like 2000. Like it's not film, but
you mean shot digitally?
Yeah. For what that's worth. Actually, I didn't have I don't know how I never had the Jaws toy when it was out. The game or whatever it was, really, with all the stuff in there, but they put it out again. They reissued it now. Now what's the internet we're talking about? Am I lost?
Sparks film?
I'm lost. Plastic model of a shark cage with a diver. I remember that too. I had that. That's right. Yeah. But I don't have the sneakers. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out again. I'm not going to go that nuts, but I do because I watched somebody's video and she's a movie review and she had the popcorn bucket sitting in the back. Even if you don't use it, it's pretty good just as a head of the shark. Right. Classic image. So even if I wind up not using it, it'd be nice to have it.
The one that they got coming out for the Fantastic Four film, it's the head of Galactus, and it's literally like this big. It's massive popcorn bucket, and I did get the one for the Aquaman movie that came out a couple of years ago.
Oh, you're a big Aquaman guy.
Yes, I am.
I have a few thingamajigs. I can't get near them right now. One of them I can. Planet of the Apes. Get Smart. 2-parter with Don Rickles. 2 episodes. See, The Lone Ranger is memorable, Tim.
Yeah. No, they're good movies. I'm surprised how good they were.
That's always a treat when you find something like that. Tuesday Weld was married to Dudley Moore. Anybody know that?
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
I do now.
I saw Woody Allen at Michael's Pub.
It's funny how sometimes you see that, kind of like how what's her name, Anne Bancroft was married to Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
And you see these serious actresses, they fall in love with the funny guys.
Yeah, I believe this is the case. Lewis left everything to his daughter from the second marriage, nothing to his sons.
Oh, Dean.
Yeah, well. No Dean. Nothing for Dino in that. Well, no, Dino was already dead, wasn't he?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
First Pixar short was 1986 about the desk lamp.
Yep.
I mean, wow, when it came out.
I think Tron in 82 had a little bit of basic CGI animation with the grid backgrounds. Lost in Space, that Abomination movie. I'm sorry. 98 one was the first.
Show was great. The series was fantastic.
Oh, I love the show. I love this series. I'll talk about that at any time. Right then, we'll talk about it. Oh dear, anytime. But I hated that movie. Boy,
I was watching a TV show on Netflix with Ted Danson where he's in a seniors residence, and the girl that played Penny was in it. She's quite old. It was weird to see that. Just because I remember her from Lost in Space, right? Anyway, my brain works that way.
Oh no, so does mine. Everybody's into that stuff. Some CGI-oriented movies are too much. Movies such as Transformers seem to use special effects just for the sake of using special effects.
That's what's wrong. I don't mind CGI in a movie where you don't even realize it's there. Right. A movie like Moulin Rouge. Okay, Moulin Rouge is full of CGI, but if you didn't know it, you wouldn't ever see it. Yeah. That's what I think is a good use for it. But
you shouldn't be able to tell it's CGI.
Yeah,
right. You shouldn't be watching a film going, "Oh, that's CGI."
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, especially when. Well, I mean, I don't care when they use it sometimes to enhance a background, maybe sometimes or something. Although I still prefer location shooting. I have to say again, bringing Jaws up. That's what I love about it. What they went through to get that movie made, and people say to me, "Well, if they had CGI, they wouldn't have to go through all that. They would have just been able to animate the shark." And I say, okay, but as a moviegoer, I think it's fascinating how they did it. That they had to go through all that, build the shark. It wouldn't work, and the sailboats. They talk often about how they would spend all this time situating a shot, and then all of a sudden the water would move and the barge would turn and the camera barge was facing this way and that was facing that way, or there'd be a sailboat in one frame, the corner, and it would take an hour and a half for it to go all the way through out of the frame. You always talk about that.
I used to sail, and if it's not a windy day, that's about right.
Really? And it's funny, Richard Dreyfuss used to tell that story. It was hilarious the way he would do it. And that sail wouldn't get out of the frame for 90 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
He says, and it's like, these days, you just digitize it out, I mean, I don't even mind something like that. I'm saying I don't mind, that kind of using it like that. You take the sailboat out of the background. Okay.
I just but
when you're actually
that people
making
don't
the shark,
think of CGI.
Go ahead. I can't hear you. What were you saying? Go ahead.
I just saw another movie that people don't think of as CGI, and there's tons of it in it, and that's Forrest Gump. Another decent use of CGI. That movie's full of CGI, but they don't shove it in your face. It's just there.
Well, the guy had no legs that was done with CGI.
But but you know, he's with Nixon, and he's with all of this kind of stuff. It's all over the place in that movie.
Use it just because you can.
You know, well, the scene with the kid running his crutches off is CGI, but it's not. They don't bat you in the face with it. You know,
But you see, when I'm watching like a movie like Spider-Man, I remember seeing the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and he's flying through the sky, and they're using CGI. Yeah. Okay, all right, I get that. But then there was some street scene fights, and you could tell the character, he's doing these flips and stuff, and it's a cartoon. It drives me nuts. Like, you know, Charlie's Angels. I think I saw a scene from Charlie's Angels when they redid that, not the originals, but and they were flipping around like they were computer game characters, and I'm like, that's what I hate. You know, when or in the new movie Fantastic Four, I'm sorry, but you could make the Thing a costume for the Thing. You don't have to have, and he did that too.
He did. Yeah, the Roger Corman and the first, you know, one from Universal was.
No, I'm talking about the character of the Thing in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because Roger Corman made a movie back in the late '80s, and then there was or was it the '90s? But then there was the one with Chiklis, or how you pronounce
that's the
name.
one I'm thinking of,
where he's in a costume. Yeah.
You're making a real guy. What the hell's wrong with you people? Anyway, I get really, really emotional about that stuff.
But it does look a little silly because, listen, I mean, let's face it. I mean, you're watching the Swamp Thing, okay? I mean, he's a guy in a suit too, but it still looks a little silly.
I'm sorry, Tom. I'll take it any day over a cartoon. Nothing sillier than you're not really there, in my opinion. But it's just opinion.
I'm that way too. One of my favorite things to talk about not using CGI is there's a scene in Face Off where supposedly John Travolta and Nick Cage get thrown off a boat like 50, 75, 100 feet in the air, and they land, and they're still fighting and everything. The thing is, you can tell that those two guys are not John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. But it's way better than if they just CGI'd it and made them put their face. You know, it's better. It's real guys did that, and to me, that's way better than just CGI. I don't care if you can tell.
Well, I can bend a little bit and try to be fair. Like one, you know, because I'm not a Star Wars guy, but I think it was in Attack of the Clones when Christopher Lee was in that one. Is that the one where he was in? Yes, and they had him fighting somebody, and his head was put on there, and I bought into it. Like it was all right that they could make it look like it was him. I think that was the one.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's fighting. He's fighting Yoda at the end of Attack of the Clones, and and then it was. I mean, that's what they did. They used computers to put the head on somebody else. Yeah.
And I guess I got to be fair, you know, even though I just got done saying, which I generally want practical effects all the time for the most part. However, let's do Star Wars again. Now, I wasn't really that familiar with Star Wars, right? One time I went and I watched all the movies, and I think what happened was, I think I had seen, I don't think I had seen all of, I don't know if it was The Empire Strikes Back or if it was Return of the Jedi, but whatever it was, I'd seen one of the newer ones first where it had Yoda in there and it was computerized. Then I went back and saw the one when he was a puppet after, and I said, "Oh, I gotta admit, that puppet's sitting on his back like isn't as good as the CGI Yoda later on." And I was like, that was one time where I try to be honest, if I say, all right, I changed my mind, I'll concede that, So I felt.
But then again, I mean, here he is. I mean, he had to have been, I think, in the 80s then when he was in that film. One of the special features with the Three Musketeers set that I was telling you guys about a couple weeks ago. He's there doing the duel with Oliver Reed at the end of the Fourth Musketeers, and the director Richard Lester wanted him to jump over like a couple feet high, and so he did it, and he ends up tearing a ligament in his leg. So I'm sure at that moment he probably wished he had a stunt double or something like that to do that.
Well, you see, the thing is, there's two ways of looking at it. One, right, in my opinion, one of them when you said like, oh well, I wish you would have a stunt double, and maybe the actor would prefer that, and maybe the director would prefer that. But as a movie, a guy who loves movies as a viewer, I'm more fascinated. Well, who cares? Like, I'll use James Bond. A couple of examples. One of them is in Live and Let Die, when Bond has to jump over the alligators or the crocodiles, or whatever they are. They had to do that several times. Him stepping on all the row of crocodiles to get to land. That's fascinating. Oh, well, it was dangerous and he could have got hurt. And it was been so much easier if we could have done it CGI. I don't care. That's what I like about movies, that they had to do it, And even in The Spy Who Loved Me, there's a ski scene at the beginning when the guy skis off the cliff and falling and opens a parachute. It's all done by.
But you go back to the old Buster Keaton films and what he used to do. He did it himself. Like that. Yeah. The one where the house falls apart.
Well, he got lucky there. He did get lucky with that. I mean, if you watch the documentary on that, I mean, I don't think he accurately did the measurements on that.
Really?
That stunt. Yeah.
I know, but no, I know, and I mean, I kind of put it like, I'm a baseball guy, so it's like watching a baseball game now where he's throwing 59 pitches, so he can't pitch for the next 6 weeks because he's tired. Yeah. Whereas the old pitchers back in 1945, the whole game, and then get up and pitch the next day.
Right. They pitch full game. Every four games they'd pitch a full game.
Pitch count has ruined baseball.
I agree.
Thank you. I agree.
It drives me crazy because I'm a Mets fan. When I watch them, and I got to tell you, Aaron, I say the same thing. It drives me. How many? And they go through this whole thing. He's up to 83 pitches now.
And you watch a base. It's the biggest number on the screen now. Forget who's leading. Forget how many outs there is. Forget the pitch count. No, who cares?
Or the pitcher's doing really great, and your team's winning 4-0. They bring in some relief pitcher because he's hit 90 pitches, and all of a sudden the bases are loaded. Someone hits a grand slam. We're going, serious?
Yeah.
And the Mets, how bad they always turn to be. You know how much, Aaron? You know how crazy I get. You same as you get. How crazy I get when it happens. There's nothing wrong. If it ain't broke, I have a rule. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if it is broke, fix it immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop the bleeding.
Welcome to sports talk.
I bring it up only because I bring it up because I think CGI in some ways is really useful. It is fantastic, like you say, Tim. Like you don't notice it, but I mean at the same time, you look at a film like Zelig, where Woody Allen put himself in history, and he would take out the negatives, and he actually had people walking on them, so you get the lines and the little cuts, so it kind of matched up. So I mean, there's. I don't mind a little CGI, but if I'm watching a movie and it's 90% CGI, my brain just goes. Mad Max, the new Mad Max that came out a couple of years ago, was not CGI. It was great. I mean, some parts were, but there was a lot.
Well, which one are you talking about? The Mad Max one or the Furiosa one?
The second one.
Yeah, Furiosa. Well, I mean, no, I mean, there's some really bad CGI in there.
But there's also some in-camera stuff, though. A lot of with the car.
Oh yeah, a lot of great stunts and stuff like that in that. But
my feeling is directors and lighting people and all of that kind. They don't have to have the talent now that they used to have because you can just fix it in post.
But CGI has been,
that's the problem. Right. It's way easier to make movies now than it used to be.
But CGI has been here so long now, where we shouldn't say bad CGI. We should be in a place right now.
Well, that's true.
I agree.
Where it's been perfected by now. There's no such thing as bad CGI.
I want to go back to the Buster Keaton thing for a second, because not only did Buster do his own stunts, Buster also did stunts for other people sometimes.
Yes. He did,
which is amazing. He's the star. He's the guy, and yet he's doing other people's stunts for him. And it's like, wow. Find somebody doing that these days. Tom Cruise.
There was one movie where he jumps through the woman. I don't know if you've ever seen that scene where
yeah.
And then they showed how they did it. It was fascinating. It's like a magician.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like a magician box where they had everything's. It's just. Blows me away.
Yeah.
Oh, Hardy Chaplin. We got Chaplin roller skating in.
Oh yeah. Well, they showed how he did that too, and that wasn't as dangerous as it looked.
No, but he did it.
Yeah, but There's the one famous Keaton's getting chased by a motorcycle cop,
Yeah.
and the motorcycle cop hits a big bump or something and goes flying off his motor. That's Keaton. That's Keaton being the motorcycle cop chasing himself, and then now it's the motorcycle cop again. That's Keaton doing that stunt. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. You know, and as I was saying before, you know, I can appreciate that if I was a filmmaker, I want to get it safely, get it fast, get it in the can. Yeah, let's get it over with, and we don't have to do like what happened in Jaws, where you're sitting out the 100 days over schedule and losing money and all this. I get it, but from a fan perspective, it's amazing. And even Aaron was saying, it's like a magician, or it's like you're dazzled by this, and that's the magic of movies. You know, I don't know. I just hate they just sit there on the computer, and a lot of people that are in movies, that are in computer graphics, say it's not like that. You don't just sit at the computer going like this all day. And I say, well, to me, it is.
I don't understand why you can't train a shark to do anything still. I mean, come on. I mean, right? I mean, it's been 100 years.
I can't get my cat to get off the bloody table. Training
let's see if I can put a few things up here. Is CGI similar to AI? Oh, we didn't go through Tom's movies yet, did we, Tom?
No, we didn't.
What do you mean?
We got to do that.
Oh, we can read the comments first or whatever.
Yeah, they're going to catch up. We don't want to stay on too long.
I have to go soon, guys. I'm sorry. I
apologize. Okay, I understand, Aaron. Not a problem. Anytime, you know.
Guys, you know, we have schedules at 9:00. Got to talk to daughters in LA. You know,
I get it, but you know, we may get off here by 9. But if you have to leave before,
if you're off by 9, I'll stick around, man.
I'm going to try to aim for that.
If you're not sick of me yet, I mean, that's, you know.
No, come on, don't say that. Come back next time. Lost his way, dressed as vegetables. Well, come on. Great vegetables.
We talked about that before.
I think I started that. But
it's fun, you know, everybody. I heard that before I even met you.
Yeah, but that's the worst. I'm sorry, that's the worst episode.
No, it isn't. There's other ones more boring than that. The Questing Beast. Are you kidding?
Boring. It's awful.
I just accept it. On that planet, there's a creature that look like a guy with a human face and a carrot head. I just accept it. Jane Russell was a knockout. Yeah. I'm not able to get all the comments, folks. I just want to get. Let me get. Don't mind me. Is there a Jaws symphony event near you? All I know is Jaws is coming back to the theaters August 29th. So I'm going to be there for that.
My birthday.
Oh, good.
Yeah, nice.
Early happy birthday. We'll try to remember.
There is a new John Williams box set coming out, or I think it is coming out, where it's like his first 20 years or whatever.
And there's a Jaws colored vinyl. It's really nice. It looks very nice of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Really? Oh yeah, Vic Morrow with the Twilight Zone and those children.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, things happen.
Yeah, and then things happen once in a while. Like I was thinking real quick, there's I think it's in Tomorrow Never Dies, another James Bond example. Like I did know this. It's a Pierce Brosnan movie. And I'm watching it, and I never thought anything of it being CG'd. And then later on they showed you when they were going through the making of. There's like a scene where a helicopter goes down and the ground. It's kind of like going up an alley or something and chasing after them on the ground. And the blades are going and everything. And the blades aren't real. They put the blades in CG later. It was just the body of the thing, which I didn't even know that. Something like that I can handle, you know what I mean? But if it's going to be James Bond, like, dodging away from the blades, and that's a CG figure, that drives me nuts, But anyway, Tom, let's go through some of what you, if not all.
Well, yeah, I saw 2 movies in the theater last week. One I really, really enjoyed. The other one was okay. But the one that I thought was okay, it's a movie called The Unholy Trinity, which was a Western with Pierce Brosnan and Samuel L. Jackson. Pretty good. It wasn't great. Samuel L. Jackson felt kind of out of place in this movie, but I thought Pierce Bronson was a fantastic, older guy, a sheriff in town where there's secret, and the secret was found out. Sam Jackson plays a character that was betrayed, and he wants to find this gold that him and his partner had stashed, but he had no idea where it was stashed. So this is just him trying to find the lost gold. Well, it gets found, but Samuel L. Jackson doesn't turn out good for Sam Jackson. But it was okay movie. The one that I really, really enjoyed is this movie called The Life of Chuck, which is a film adaptation. It's a short story from Stephen King, and it's told in three parts, and it goes backwards. And it starts at chapter 3, and then 2, and then 1. And it's really fascinating how it's a story of this guy who only lives on the earth for a certain amount of time, and there's this one chapter where there's this world inside his head. I don't want to give too much away, but it's really cool film. Mark Hamill has a really nice role in there. Good cast. Tom Hiddleston, I think he's the guy that plays Loki in the Marvel movies these days. He's the main character, Chuck. But you only see him for like 20 minutes in the film. But I really enjoy this. If you're a Stephen King fan, you'll really like this. Don't sleep on it. I remember a lot of people slept on Shawshank Redemption. Nobody went to go see that movie, and now it's you might have been like one of 10 people that went to go see it because that movie flopped, hard time, big core. And then but I love you guys so much that I had a chance to see the new Jurassic Park movie tonight, but I didn't go. So,
oh shit!
I'm really touched now. I got to stay till 9.
Yeah, there you go.
there is a Jurassic Park question, but before I get there,
I know.
Reminded me of a movie that I saw that I forgot I saw. When you said Chuck, I thought of Chuck from Happy Days. Whatever happened to Chuck from Happy Days? And I thought, I know what happened to him. He was in Death Wish 3. That's what happened. Yeah. I saw Death Wish 3 with that guy that played Chuck. Death Wish 3 is crazy, man. It's just crazy. It's insane. It's over the top. It's unintentionally funny at times. This is going to sound awful, but it's not supposed to be funny, but it is the way it's shot. Where, for example, they go into an apartment and they try to get money out of these old people that live there, and they're punching. One guy's punching a guy in his stomach, like, "Come on, push the money." And he's like, oh! It reminds me of like that scene in Blazing Saddles where they're like punching the old lady in the town in the stomach. It's like, oh! It looks so bad the way it's done. That it was funny. It's not a funny scene, but it's unintentionally funny. Anyway, I had a blast with Death Wish 3. I thought it was freaking fun as hell.
Nice.
But anyway, is that all you saw, Tom?
Yeah. Next week, if I have time, if I'm able to join next week, I'll be showing not the Criterion version, but I think the Indicator version of Carnal Knowledge, the Jack Nicholson Art Garfunkel film.
Oh yeah, what is that? What's the one that I want to get that again? When it's supposed to come out on what? Is it Indicator?
Indicator Blu-ray. Yeah, it's mailed. It's shipped. Hopefully, I'll have it before because they ship it from overseas.
It's not a Criterion.
But Criterion is releasing it next month. So you can either wait for then. Or get the Indicator version. But it's funny because I pre-ordered the Indicator version, and then the next month, the Criterion announced it. So, but I'm going to get both versions. I love the movie a lot. One of my favorite Jack Nicholson roles.
Yeah. All right. So the Jurassic Park movies. When I say I'm not wild about them, I only ever saw one of the sequels. I don't know which one. It was one of the more recent sequels. It wasn't even like an early one. And I'm not much on them, but what do you guys think of? You guys see the
last time I was in the drive-in was for the first Jurassic Park film. That's the last one I saw, but I am kind of interested in this new one, to be honest. So
I like the first. I mean, I haven't seen the most recent one, but I like the first series. I you know what? I like a good monster film, and there I'm going to contradict myself and say some good CGI in those movies, but but also some real in-camera stuff too, right?
Right.
I like a la Jaws, the water rippling in the car. That was brilliant, and that's all you need to do, and it's fantastic. Anyways, my opinion.
Okay, so I mean, even like the CG, like even though like I don't like take the Planet of the Apes films, like the new ones, the new series. Although it's not really straight CG, it's CG capture, motion capture, where the guy
motion capture where it's a really actual person and they got all the
and then
dots
they put
all
all the
over
fur on by cartoon later.
Yeah.
I don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would rather them,
like Avatar. I could care less about Avatar, and if it was people in costumes rather than that, I probably would watch it. But.
I gained 5 pounds at Avatar because I just kept eating because I was so bored.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You gotta watch Hell's Angels on Wheels, classic early Jack.
I will do that, Kimba. Thank you.
Tommy, your friend.
I've seen Hell's Angels on Wheels.
I have the soundtrack.
Oh,
really?
I think I might too, actually.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
All right, so I guess we're gonna go now with the. Oh, wait, that was just in time too. Thanks, I appreciate that. Thank you, 50 Thunderer. Anyway, so thanks everybody. We're glad to have Aaron here this time, and you say no pressure. Anybody? Sometimes Tom can't make every show. This is all we do. We just sit here and we just talk anything that comes up.
If you want me back, I would come back.
Anytime. Okay, guys. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Talk soon, huh?
Bye, guys.